You might come across this in your forthcoming exam. Here's exactly how to crack it. So the question says the diagram below illustrates a variation of the displacement y of a wave particle with time t. If the velocity of the wave is 250 meters per second, so I would say data v equals 250 meters per second. Calculate the distance between two successive particles which are in phase. Calculate the distance between two successive particles which are in phase. Now, from this diagram, would get the other items would need. Now, we first need to calculate for the frequency, which we do not know, and with the help of the frequency, would calculate for the wavelength. So you're asked to calculate for the wavelength here. They say calculate the distance between two successive particles which are in phase. That means the wavelength. So I'm just going to say wavelength is unknown. Now the next thing is that how can we get our frequency? Do not forget that frequency is the number of wavelengths over time taken. So I just need to count the number of wavelengths occurring here, the number of wavelengths here. So we'll calculate the we'll pick out the wavelength. Now here is it. Recall I've been saying this loop here and this loop here makes one wavelength, this loop and another loop. So there are two wavelengths here, but we're asked to calculate the distance between two successive particles. So we are calculating for just the distance of one wavelength. So it becomes f equals 1 over, and what's the time for one wavelength? 0.02. So from this place like this to this place like this is one wavelength, which is 0.02. So I'm just going to write 0.02, and if you divide by 0.02, you are going to be getting 50 hertz. So we get 50 hertz. But recall from our question, they asked us to calculate for the wavelength and not frequency. So now that we've gotten frequency, we'll make use of we'll make use of v equals f lambda. V equals f lambda, and we'll make lambda the subject by dividing. We'll say v is equals to f lambda. We divide through by f cancels f. Lambda equals v over f, and our v was given to be 250 meters per second. 250 over the frequency is just 50, and so our lambda, which is our wavelength, would just be 5, because if you punch your calculator 250 divided by 50, you get 5 meters. So the final answer to this question, to this practice problem here, is actually 5 meters. Do you want to solve similar questions? Click on the link in the description box. You win. Just believe.